I see this happen all the time. New business owners think that to get ahead, they have to keep saying yes. They think the more meetings they schedule and the more networking they do, it will skyrocket their business. Plus, they want to be generous with their time and helpful to others, which is great. But then they get stuck. They stretch themselves so thin that they don't have the time to work on the most important parts of their business. When I realized I was doing the same thing in my business, I made a big change and it really paid off. I'm Derek Halpern and you're watching Social Triggers, the place entrepreneurs and executives learn to get ahead in business and life. And in this video, I'll share what I did and why. Plus, I'll give you some tools you can use to stay focused. Back in 2012 and 2013, I was busy. I was meeting with new people almost every day and doing several speaking engagements each month. And while my business did well and revenue increased, I knew I wasn't performing at the top of my ability. And when I looked at how I was spending my time, I realized that only about 10% of it led to any real business growth. Those chance meetings I felt like I'd be an idiot for missing out on almost never resulted in anything worthwhile. I was wasting my time instead of spending it on the most important things that would actually grow my business. And that's when I decided to do something extreme. I decided to give a hard no to everything unless it directly related to what I was working on right now. That means no meetings, no speaking engagements, no interviews, nothing. And sure, maybe I missed a connection or two that could have led to an opportunity down the line. But the bottom line is that I already had a list of things to do that I wasn't doing, and I needed to focus on that first. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to lock yourself up in your office and say no to everything if you want to accomplish any real goals. But I am trying to show you the importance of taking back your calendar and focusing on your most important work. Whether that's getting new subscribers, or creating a new course, or writing the sales copy for your new product. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Fast Company shared a story about how when Warren Buffett first met Bill Gates in 1991, he encouraged him to keep his calendar empty. You've got to keep control of your time, he said, and you can't unless you say no. You can't let people set your agenda in life. Steve Jobs is another example. He was known for his laser focus. I read in Business Insider that Johnny Ive, Apple's head of design, said, "Steve was the most remarkably focused person I've ever met in my life." And what Steve Jobs said about focus is spot on. He said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means you're saying no to 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully. And that's what you have to do when it comes to deciding how you're going to spend your time. You can waste it on endless meetings, or you can focus it on the thing that you're doing that's most important to your business." Now, you're probably thinking, okay, I get it, but how can I decide what to say yes to and what to say no to? Well, don't worry, I've got 3 tips for you that you can start implementing immediately. First, and I said this earlier, you need to say no to almost everything that doesn't directly affect what you're working on right now. I know this seems harsh, but if you're looking to build something meaningful, then you have to do it. Don't let anything distract you from your #1 goal. I did this in 2014 because I was focused on building new products. And in 1 year, I was able to turn my 1-product company into a 4-product company. If I said yes to several speaking engagements each month, if I said yes to every interview that came my way, if I said yes to every dinner, if I said yes to every personal engagement, there's no way I could have accomplished this much in a year. You see, we all get caught in the fear of missing out trap. We don't want to miss a big opportunity. We don't want to miss a valuable connection. But Richard Branson said it best. Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Second, you want to schedule time with yourself. This one is huge, and it's actually something I've just recently started doing. Believe it or not, I used to not work so smart. I'd wake up, do what I felt like doing for the day, and that was it. I wasn't being strategic with my time, and it affected my productivity. Now, when I want to work on something on my to-do list, I add it to my calendar. I block off time to work on just that task. And I found that doing this really helps me to get the stuff done I need to get done without distraction. And you should start doing that too. And finally, I realize that it's not realistic to say no to everything. You need some meetings. But the trick is to have a system in place for how and when you schedule those meetings. For example, I say Friday for my meetings day. This way I have 4 full days open for me to focus on more important work. And if something needs my attention earlier in the week, then it has to wait until after 5 p.m. Those are my rules. And creating a similar system will allow you to keep full control over your calendar so that things don't get out of hand. But you don't have to follow my rules. You can make rules for yourself, and that's fine too. So to quickly recap, you need to take control of your calendar, and here are 3 ways to do it. Say no to almost everything that doesn't directly affect what you're working on right now. Schedule time with yourself, and create a system for how and when you schedule meetings. Now, I have a question for you. Do you find these tips helpful? Which are you most excited to implement? Leave a comment and let me know. Also, if you know anyone who struggles with saying yes, pass along this video. You'll be helping them out and me too. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to Social Triggers and hop on my mailing list where you'll receive exclusive content from yours truly. I thought she kept like trying to jump up, and I saw like my sister was like jumping up.